We went over the rules in the dressing room. Trunks here are good, trunks here are good. You know what I expect? A clean fight. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. God bless. Touch up. Mouthpiece in.
You know, there are many elite amateurs who have the talent to fight experienced pros or even top pros for a few rounds. The difference between amateur and professional is, can you go those 10 and 12 grueling rounds?
You're exactly right, because it's a whole different game when you take the headgear off and you put on smaller gloves. And we've seen some fighters that have been able to do it. Guillermo Reyniao, for example, and Lomachenko is just as decorated. But we'll see if he has a medal.
Bob Arum called him this week the best amateur fighter he's ever seen.
Bob Arum, like most promoters, has never been accused of understatement.
No hyperbole from Mr. Arum.
He does sign our paycheck.
Well, all that aside, Ramirez is an experienced professional, and we're going to find out if Lomachenko truly is an experienced professional tonight. Because you're going to have to be to beat this kid, and this kid's taking it right to him right now. Remember, the kid Ramirez looks a lot shorter, but according to the official statistics, they're both 5'7". So we'll see how that works out. To me, he looks shorter, and if he is, you get a situation with headbutts. What does Lomachenko do when he gets a headbutt? And he just walked into a good left hand.
Well, that's exactly, and he takes a knee. And talk about a reaction.
A body punch, I believe.
Yeah, he did get hit with a body punch. It might have been in the area of the liver, the way he reacted, and the way he's running around. So that answered the question in a hurry.
Well, it certainly is a professional punch. It's not an amateur punch when you hit to the body like that.
No, and clearly Lomachenko's got a lot of power to go with all that skill.
Well, you know, we're trying to build up Ramirez because we've seen him fight so many times, and Lomachenko just made me a believer. So I don't know. I'm going to have to agree with Bob Arum until Larry, we prove him wrong.
And you know, Colonel, not only is he a veteran here, Ramirez, but he's also got some pop in his punches with 15 knockouts to his 24 fights.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, his punches look like they're just little pops, and this guy Lomachenko sitting down in his punches very heavily with his shots. Southpaw landing clean shots. His arms are supposedly the same, but something's wrong with his tail. This guy's definitely got a longer reach. He's definitely taller. I don't know who did the measuring, but I disagree with all we can do is give you the official statistics as they're provided to us.
And there was some nice body work, quick combinations to the body by Lomachenko. And that, I believe, is what caused Ramirez to drop to one knee earlier.
And did you see the athletic move that Lomachenko made when he almost squatted down, almost touched the knee to the canvas, and right back up? That's a sign of very, very, very strong legs to be able to do that a la Pernell Whitaker, who could do it with 2 feet and 2 legs.
He is very athletic.
Yeah, that's what we're finding out, Larry, in the early going.
Mario referred to his record. I think he had close to 400 amateur fights, lost one of them, and beat that guy who beat him twice.
Wow.
When you mentioned his athleticism, he runs marathons, he swims in the ocean. He's extremely well conditioned. That's something he and his team really pride themselves on.
All right, well, he won the first round anyway, 10-8. All right, you guys take a look at this knockdown.
And it was a beautiful counter left hook to the body.
The delay, of course, is because it was right on the liver.
Taking a little step back, Lomachenko dipping down, coming up with a beautiful left hook to the body.
Go back.
And it had some pop to it because Ramirez had a delayed reaction and went to one knee.
When a guy has that delayed reaction, it's because it takes about a second for it to go from the liver to the brain, and then he realizes a lot of guys can get paralyzed. One that stands out to me was Bernard Hopkins on Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, well, and it shows that Ramirez has some professional experience. Along with the message to the brain was, I think I ought to take a rest here.
Yes, that was a veteran.
And that's the hardest thing to get a fighter to do, because their instinct is to fight, not really when they're in a war to go ahead and take a knee.
And Colonel, since that knockdown, Ramirez has come back and has been as aggressive as ever. Took some hard shots at a combination by Lomachenko. Lomachenko extremely elusive.
Yeah, he's got it all. I mean, as I watch him, he's got the footwork. He moves side to side. He's got a lot of power, as the body shot shows. Now, here he was. That's definitely, he fell over the leg. And right on top of it,
Watch your feet.
Russell Moore, a very good referee here from Nevada.
I don't know if that was a professional move by Ramirez or an amateur flop.
You know what that was?
Absolutely a professional move by Ramirez.
That was him being a little too fast for his own good and being a southpaw and getting the feet tangled there.
Can't get what they're cheering in.
They're cheering Mexico.
Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Very much a pro Ramirez crowd here as the early Marquez supporters get in their seats to watch some of this undercard action.
And you guys are both right in that you pointed out, this kid's fighting a hell of a fight right now. He's right in this thing.
He's right in this thing. And this is a good fight for Lomachenko as a debut.
And he just shifted to southpaw, Lomachenko.
He is.
I mean,
To convention.
yeah.
Switched around.
And those hands, aside from having some pop, those hands are really fast. This kid seems to really be the five-tool player, if you will.
Well, you know, just as I think he's doing, I'm like the albatross for poor Ramirez. Just as I point out that he's doing something good, he gets nailed. You better stay away from me, young Jose. I love his toughness. I love his grit. I love the fact he's hanging in there with clearly a guy that's got a lot of tools. 400 amateur fights, but he does fight like a professional.
That was one of the things that interested Bob Arum in signing him, was that he already fought with the pro-like style as an amateur. And that's why Lomachenko, I said, where do you get your confidence from coming in wanting to fight a 10-round debut? And he said, I already fight like a pro.
Because he is a pro.
Well, he fought those 6 fights at 5. They were 5-rounders. They all went the distance, by the way. It was a tournament.
Right, that's a wealth of experience there.
Closing seconds now of round number 2.
Ramirez did a good job coming back and keeping it competitive.
Larry, stop picking on me with my math. I'm tired.
Talk about a guy using his
I
hands
bring
during
something.
my
I got to bring something to this party.
You're doing a good job. You behave yourself. We're looking at you. Oh, wow, look at that. The heads came together there.
Unintentional.
No knockdown. Come here. Good.
And, of course,
I
no
see
knockdown.
That. I see that. Time.
And Russell
I see
Moore
that.
is going
You're
to
good.
say you okay.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Let's
So
go.
the heads came together. Another tough thing for Ramirez. And that's why I don't think that these statistics we have on these two fighters are 100% accurate, because I saw that little short head come up against that big tall head, and they banged and clashed.
Well, that'll happen often when you go up against
The southpaw
a
and the right
southpaw.
hand.
Yeah, on a convention, especially an aggressive one. Feet get tangled, which we've seen. We've seen the head clash already.
Well, of course, the other thing is they're not fighting with headgear as a professional, and heads do bang and cuts do occur. It's another thing you've got to be able to deal with.
You got to deal with it, and you got to factor it in and adjust a little bit.
You notice the way Ramirez, when he comes in, he never comes straight in. It's kind of like he's zigzagging his way in, and I like that. This kid's a good fighter. And he's having a tough time with this guy, but he's the one that's forcing the fight. Lomachenko's got some slick moves stepping past his guy. He reminds me of the guys that put those things into the back of a bull and they hit the bull and
Matador.
sidestep. Not the Matador.
Good clean right hand by Ramirez there.
I'm impressed with Ramirez after taking such a hard body shot, maintaining his aggression, realizing that he's got to stay on this kid if he wants any chance at winning, because you're not going to outbox him.
Very, very entertaining fight. I'm really enjoying this. Wherever you're watching around the world, I know you are too. A lot more coming up. And say hello to everybody at the Valley Inn down there in Christchurch, New Zealand. Georgie Calvin, the boys.
Stop!
You know, there is already a highly ranked Russian featherweight, Beterbiev, unbeaten fighter also.
He's a real world beater, isn't he?
And there's another really talented, deep talented division with Mikey Garcia and Abner Mares and Johnny Gonzalez. Lomachenko could really have some exciting fights out. And the footwork of Lomachenko.
Stop! No. Watch your hold. Let's go.
Well, I love his footwork, Mario, that you bring it out. It's terrific. Closing seconds now.
And he always seems to be on balance.
Yeah. Except for the one time he was thrown down by All right, the bell-ins, round number 3. As we go to round 4 here, Thomas and Mack Center. We're in the United States of America in a place called Las Vegas, Nevada. Glad that you can be with us. The Colonel, Larry, Mario, Christina. And our principals in there, Jose and Vasiliy. We're on first-name basis here.
Vasiliy looks like he could let his hands go and really put on much more of a show and be a lot more aggressive, because he clearly has the advantage in speed and I think strength, but he's choosing to counterpunch, use his footwork, and maybe get some rounds in. Maybe Ramirez is a tougher kid to figure out than we think. Doing a good job with his jab.
Uses his shoulder, typical of a Mexican fighter. Use whatever you got. They'll use head, shoulders, knees, slow blows. They're just tough, flat out tough. And when things aren't going his way, like they aren't right now, they get tougher.
You have to think the longer this fight goes. Obviously, Ramirez with 28 professional fights has been in deep waters, has been in late rounds, but Lomachenko, this is going to be his first 10-rounder.
Well, like you mentioned, Christina, he's in excellent shape, so I don't think conditioning is going to be an issue, but mentally, it's a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
Nice counter right hook.
If you may have just been joining us, because many countries join us at different times throughout these telecasts and these world telecasts, Christina Pancha made a great point that this kid, he cross-trains, he's a swimmer, he's a distance runner, a marathoner. Besides all his boxing that he does, he's got the washboard stomach and the strong shoulders and striated muscles in his upper arm. So this kid has got a perfect build for a fighter, and that's because of all the training that he does and the different aspects of cross-training for boxing.
And his family, nice, beautiful, his family, clearly fitness is a top priority in the Lomachenko house.
And while the Klitschko's aren't that popular, one thing you got to say about them, you may not like their style, but by golly, they're in shape all the time.
Phenomenal shape. Meanwhile, Lomachenko's got a little bit of a mouse and a cut, I believe, under his right eye.
Well, we'll see how that holds up, because the cut can be a real serious problem, because the Mexican will know how to go after it. I assure you. Joey Gamache is handling the cuts for Lomachenko.
Well, it is a little bit of a mouse, and blood isn't pouring from it, but one more shot there, and he might see blood. I don't know if he's seen it.
And another beautiful body shot.
Those body shots are unbelievable. It's up to 4 and 5. He may not be able to get up. It's up to 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. He counts them out. It's all over. A knockout. How about that? Like a bolt out of the blue. He hit the midsection right on the liver, and it's over.
What was so impressive about that too, Colonel, is he didn't even plant his feet. It was a counter shot as he was pivoting, and he got him right on the liver, the same shot that he dropped him with earlier, but this time there was no delayed reaction. Out.
Because of his quickness with his feet and his hands, he hits his opponent with punches he doesn't see, which are always the most dangerous and often the most
gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes 59 seconds of round number 4. The winner by knockout victory, winning his professional debut and winning the WBO International Featherweight Championship, the fighting pride of Odessa, Vasiliy